How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Keep It Classy Tech. In this video I'm going to unbox and set up the new LG C2 to 65 inch. It's LG's mainstream OLED for 2022. The front and back of the box is identical, and once you get into the top there's the pack that has the remote and accessories, and then there's parts to the stand. Pull the box up over the top of the TV, and then the stand is over on the one side. It's new this year and it's a lot smaller. The TV itself is substantially lighter. I would say that overall the weight is similar to the 48-inch C1 that I have. So here's all the accessories, stickers, and booklets and everything that comes packed in the box. So there's some tie downs for wires or for cable management. There's a plate that covers the back of the TV where the stand gets screwed into it. Here's the remote. The remote is pretty much identical to last year's, the only difference being the Amazon Alexa button on the bottom right isn't the circle anymore. It now just says Alexa. This wire helps the remote to get to devices that are like behind cabinet doors or something. Then you have two packs of screws. There's thinner, smaller ones with blue on them. Those go into the back of the stand, into the TV. And then there's four larger, thicker screws that connect the two pieces of the stand together. The stand directions are taped to the styrofoam in the box, and they're not that great. It's this paper right here. So you take your thicker, longer screw, you run two of them through the bottom into the plate that will then attach to the TV. But before you do that, you take the other two big screws and spin the stand around, and then there's two angled holes on each side that those screws go into. And this TV is just really so light. It's very easy for one person, even at 65 inches, to just pick it up. So I just picked it up, laid it down on the table, slot the stand in like that, use the four smaller screws into those four holes, and then that's it. Your stand is now attached to the TV. So now we can check the ports on the right hand side when you're looking at the back, left hand side from the front, where you have three USB ports, four HDMI 2.1 ports, Ethernet, Toslink, RS-232, your antenna, and then your IR blaster port. So then you just pull the cover off. It does have a full sheet of plastic on the front. Pull that off. And then here I'm showing HDMI cables being routed through the included cable management system pieces. It goes together like so, and then you shouldn't be able to see any of the cables when you're looking at it from the front. Overall, I'd say it's a very clean looking aesthetic for the chassis. So now I'm going to go through the setup. It's pretty similar to last year. I did take the TV off the stand and put it on my wall mount. So now I'm going to try and set it up just agreeing to terms of use and nothing else, and see what happens, and then see what you have to agree to get where with the TV. So setup process pretty straightforward. I do select that it's wall mounted, so because it will change the way the speakers work depending if it's wall mounted or on the stand. There's this new thing called Always Ready, where it basically is awake in the background when it's turned off, and it's listening, waiting for you to give voice commands, things like that, or you can adjust it or do things with your phone. So as you can see, when I first started up, it offered some built-in TV channels, but you have to agree to these three extra policies in red before you can unlock them. And then I just went ahead and agreed to everything just so it wouldn't interfere with anything else that I might try to go through with the review of the TV, which will be coming soon. So here's how the TV channels are that it gave me. Just scroll through them real quick, and then I switched to my own input. You can see it starts in the auto power saving mode, which is not what you want. It's going to make it very dim. And then if you go deep into the settings here, you can find the energy saving steps and disable this entirely, which I strongly recommend. Then from there, we're going to change the picture mode. Just for now, I'm just going to throw on ISF Expert Bright, because I got lights on in the room, and the ISF Expert modes are usually pretty accurate, but I will be covering all the settings and different picture modes in the next video. But I do want to point out here that it does come with the adjust logo brightness on low, and you can see as I toggle it off, it did shift the brightness a little bit. So like last year, that was about a 15% amount that it would dim. I'm expecting it to be the same this year. So now here in external devices, you can connect like a Bluetooth controller or mouse, etc. I'm just going to run through a lot of these different pages. TV information is where you find like the hours on the TV and such. HDMI deep color you'll need to turn on for most 4K devices. So you got your network settings, there's accessibility options. If you go to system and then go to additional settings, go to home settings, you can change what happens when you turn the TV on. So I'd like to turn those off. You can change the pointer, the size of it, and how quickly it moves. Under the advertisement thing, it doesn't turn them off, so it really doesn't matter. Just adjust, I guess, the information that you're sending them. Same thing with Live Plus. Do you want recommendations based on what you like, things like that. Under general, there's family settings, so you can see like how long the TV's on, set up eye care mode, set up family controls for children, things like that. Then for sound, you need to enable ARC. I guess it's not enabled out of the box. That was interesting, I thought. And then eARC is in the advanced settings. And then you can change your setting to bitstream or PCM depending on what your AVR supports or your soundbar or whatever device. So once you get all that set up, you head over to the picture settings and you want to change the scanning to original and just scan on. So sometimes the just scan will be grayed out, but as long as it's on original, and when it is possible, put it to on so that it doesn't crop in the image at all. So I'm just running through the settings to see what's different. Color gamut now has more options. I also noticed the HDMI range setting is now called video range. Other than that, most of the settings are pretty much the same, although I did notice a couple other interesting things. So with the auto genre AI setting previously, it would lock out the true motion setting. It no longer does that. Still, if the true motion is on, then you can't adjust real cinema. That's normal. Always ready now is the first option above the AI service settings. You still have AI Picture Pro, brightness, and genre selection. But like I said, with the genre selection, it no longer overrides the true motion like it did last year. And I will have a video in the next day or two going over all the settings and how to set all this stuff up. So if you aren't subscribed, then subscribe and you'll see that pop up, hopefully. Now, moving on, the TV now has multi-view, which right now there's not a whole lot that you can use with it. I didn't connect my phone yet, but I can still demonstrate how it works here. So I did select for it to use HDMI port, so it would be the PlayStation in one window, and then you could have another input in your right window. But like I said, I didn't connect the phone or anything, and the options are limited right now, but they're supposed to be adding more options soon, so we'll see what happens with it. That said, you can have them side by side like this. You can do picture in picture. You can switch them around, change the size of the windows, move where the window is in picture. So I just went through and tinkered around with this for a couple minutes just to demonstrate it. It's personally not something that I would ever use, but I know some people like picture in picture or picture by picture, so it's there. Also, if you have another newer LG TV in the house that supports it, you can share the screen from one TV to the other. I don't have another one right now to try that out. Now moving on to the game optimizer, it's been updated they now have this like game and picture tab at the top, and then if you scroll down, you'll see the basic options, and then if you scroll down under picture, you can change some of the picture settings. Still, the colors are purple, orange, and green. And then when it comes to the image quality here with the different preset profiles, even if you set the black stabilizer and white stabilizer the same, there is behind the scenes setting changes that you can't adjust, so it does alter like the color and things as well. So like if I go through here on each of these and I set all of the settings the same on them, standard will be the we'll say least saturated color option. Then your FPS, RPG, and RTS modes, those are all the same, and they bump the color a little bit. And then new this year is the sports mode, and then that one bumps the color even more. So you can play with these as you want. The more accurate way would just be to use standard, but some people don't care about that when it comes to gaming or really anything. So anyway, just letting you know that there is a difference between these, so look through them based on the game you're playing, however you want to do it. Again, me personally, I just run standard and use it set up and the same way for everything. But that's pretty much going to be it for this video. So again, keep an eye out. I will have a full settings guide, review, comparisons, a bunch of stuff coming out for this. And just a little hint, the C2 is basically the same as a G1 as far as performance, both the good and bad of that. So take that as you will, and I'll explain more of that in an upcoming video, and I will also be streaming with the TV, so keep an eye on that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.